Welcome to the men's call. I'm so fired up you're here, and I hope you've got a bunch of people. Yeah! I just invited a few friends over tonight, and I hope you invited some. I can't ask you to invite if I don't invite, so I'm going to invite too. So I'm gonna have them look around here a little bit so you can see some of my friends. So here are some of our friends that are at our home tonight. So. I just am so honored that you're here. Yeah, look at this. This is so great. So this is the Goad bunch here tonight, just here. And then I got a few of my other friends around the globe that are here. So I love it so much. I want to start by saying thanks, first of all. There's a lot of people that make this happen. It's not just me. There's a big team of people that caused this call to come off. And I just want to say thank you for being on tonight. I want to honor you. I am beyond excited that you're a part of this call. But I just want to say thank to our tech team who put all this together and just serve their guts out. Spencer, thank you. Josh, thank you. Quan, thank you. Arthur, thank you. And a special thanks to our daughter, Bree, who all day long puts up with me interrupting her already overtaxed schedule with all of my needs on top of what needs to be done. So I'm grateful. I'm grateful for my wife. And by the way, her birthday is this week. Isn't that incredible? Y'all pray for me. I'm hanging out with an older woman. So she's now 22. So I don't know what this year's going to be like. So it's going to be a blast. And then I want to thank my son, too, for just being a great warrior. I'm honored that you're here tonight. A question that continually boggles my mind is, why is it that the best keep getting better? Why is it that the best keep getting better? And here's what I've found out. The best give their best, and because they give their best from the people they're leading, they get the best. Wow. It's amazing that we get what we give. I think there's a scripture that says, give and it shall be given unto you. I know everybody on this call, you want to grow. And can you believe we're already into this year and it's running, and I hope you're having a great month. I hope you're having your greatest week. I hope you have your greatest day today. I hope you're having more miracle breakthroughs than you could ever imagine. But I know that every one of us want to keep growing, and we want to learn how to serve better and how to be better. And I want to be a better father. I want to be a better husband. I want to be a better friend. I want to be a better leader. I want to be a better pastor. I want to get better. I don't want to stay or settle or definitely retreat. I want to take the reverse out of everything in my life. I'm almost to the point where I refuse to rise down elevators, if you know what I'm talking about. I only want to go up. So I just want to give you some traits, guys, that you know. But I just want to go over them with you real quick. If we're going to get better, we've got to get better at listening. The whole world's talking. Would you agree? Talk radio, the talking heads. Some of you got people that just love to talk, right? I think we've got to get better at listening. We've got to get listening to people's hearts, to their dreams, to their hopes, to their desires, to their pain, to their hurt. We need to listen. We're so busy talking. Have you ever been like me where honestly, I wanted to be heard? And when I wanted to be heard most is when I needed to listen the most. Wow. Sometimes when I want to be validated, I need to be validating more. Sometimes when I want to get my point across, I need to understand somebody else's point even more. So here's what I can tell you. Some of us, if we listened to ourselves more, we probably would talk less. And so as a leader, I just want to beg you in your life, as a father, as a mom, as a son or a daughter, maybe we could step into becoming the person that listens. Not only listens with our ears, not only listens to respond, but we listen with our eyes and our body language. There's nothing worse than talking to somebody, and while you're talking to them, they're looking around and they're so ready to say what they want to say next, and you know they didn't hear you. You know, every one of us on this call, every one of us want to be heard. We want somebody to hear us. We want somebody to understand us. So I just want to encourage you, let's figure out how we can be better listeners. We can be more attentive, we can be more focused, and we can add more value by listening. The second thing is, I think we need to become better watchers. We need to be noticers of people. We don't need to be spending so much time trying to catch people around us doing something wrong, as we need to spend our time catching people doing something right.
Yeah.
And then let's talk about it, man. Let's be aware. Have you been somewhere lately where somebody wasn't aware? Have you had a conversation this week with somebody that wasn't aware? Have you had a conversation with somebody that was rude and they didn't know it? Have you had a conversation with somebody that thought they were right but they weren't right? What do I do with that, Tim? Become a watcher of people. Become a noticer of people. You can learn so much when you watch, when you notice, when you're aware. What am I watching for? I'm watching for behaviors. It's not what we say, it's what we do. Isn't that right?
Yeah.
So I'm watching for behaviors. I'm watching for people's thinking. If you've had a conversation with somebody, you can kind of tell what they've been thinking. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
People want to tell you about all their woes and all their problems. And I got to tell you, I remember a day in my life where I wanted to tell all of my problems, and I found out that about 90% of them were really happy I had them. And the other 10% were waiting for me to hurry up and get done so they could tell me about theirs. And so as a leader, if you want to get better, spend more time validating than trying to be validated. Spend more time in your life where you're really listening to people. Listen to their attitudes. Listen and look for their talents. I'm talking about the things inside of them that nobody notices. There's somebody around you right now that is really good at organization. They're really good at putting things in order. And they have such a servant heart in doing it. They don't want to put things in order because they want control. They want to put things in order because they want to help your life get better. Wow. I'm so grateful for people in my life that bring order. I also listen for processes. I listen to how people process things, how they do it. And see, there was a day in my life, I had 500 employees at one time. There was a time where I wanted everything done the way I wanted it done. And then I realized I was never going to get what I could get done if I didn't empower somebody to do what they could do the way they wanted to do it. Come on, let me talk to you for a second, okay? How many of you right now have ever had a boss that said, oh, just do it, and then they came in and micromanaged you? Oh, happy. Is that a fun day in your life? You're like, hey, if you want this, you take it. I'm going to do something else. But if you think you're going to micromanage me, can I tell you something? Great leaders don't want somebody to lord over them. They want somebody to empower them, release them, and can I tell you, tell them it's okay if they make a mistake. You know why it's okay if they make a mistake? Because you and I are going to make mistakes. That's how progress is brought forwards. So in your life, John Wooten used to watch his basketball. He's a basketball coach, college, probably the greatest ever lived. He used to watch his players, and he would watch them shoot baskets. And he found one spot on the floor where they had their highest percentage of making shots. And he would walk out and put tape on the floor and say, shoot from here always. Every one of you on this call have a sweet spot. Every one of you have a spot in your life, a spot in your day where you're at your best. I would encourage you to take that moment in your life, because your greatest success, your greatest victories, your greatest breakthroughs are going to come in that moment. But if you don't have somebody that can watch you and not judge you, but equip you, wow. It's hard to learn from somebody that's embarrassing you. Leaders, our job is not to embarrass people. Our job is to empower and lift people to a whole nother level. So I'm also watching. You know what else I'm watching for? I'm watching for what makes you laugh. And I'm watching for what makes you cry. I love to watch people when they laugh. What makes them happy? I love to watch what makes my wife happy. And I love to make her happy. How many of you know a happy wife is a happy life? Amen. And so I want to know, I want to make people happy. There are some people get up every day and their goal in life is to control and boss people. My goal in life is to bring joy and happiness, just like you. So as you do this, watch what happens in your life. So the other thing I want you to do is I want you to become a better connector. A better connector with people. Most people give a speech and they think they've done something. Most people have a conversation and they think they've done something. But if you have not connected with people heart to heart, it's not going to happen. It's the most amazing thing because I've been studying a lot on charisma. Because have you ever just been around somebody that just, when you get in their presence, they just lift your game? There's just a charisma. They just make you feel different. But matter of fact, here's what I want you to know. Charisma defined as how you make other people feel about themselves. Yeah. When you're in somebody's presence and they make you feel great about you, you're attracted to that person. Isn't that amazing? And there's all this science out now on charisma, which is blowing my mind. Okay, because it's telling us what we already knew. But here are the two things if you want to have charisma. This is going to help a lot of salespeople. If you want to connect with people, there are two main traits you've got to have. Number one is you have to be competent. When you're competent and you walk in and you know you're going to deliver it. I love being around professionals that when they walk out, you just know they're in their space and they're going to deliver it. The other one is they're warm. Some of us leaders, we're competent, but we're arrogant. And so people don't connect with us. Some of us are competent, but it's all about us. And I think all of us know on this call, it's never been about us. So, if I'm going to connect, let me give you an acrostic real quick. Number one, or the C, is consider others first. Considers other first. Have you been somewhere this week where it was like you were invisible? It's like nobody could see you. They were only concerned about themselves. You want to be that person that considers other people first. Do you know why? Because most people think of themselves first. The O in Connect stands for open up. Be real. I have a leader that's on this call. He's a tremendous, tremendous leader. And he used to walk in a room and he would be like, very intimidating. And he's a big guy. He's a lovable guy. His main strength in his life is love. And so I just went to him one day and said, hey, can you just walk in the room instead of being, can you just go, hi? And man, I love this guy because every time he walks in the room, he connects with people because he's open, he's authentic, he's warm. Some of us have got to be aware of our smile. Matter of fact, this is so important that even on Zoom calls now, do you understand that everybody watching everybody on this Zoom call is watching each other's body language? And in your body language, people are deciding whether they want to be connected with you or not. But people get on Zoom calls and you know what they do? They look around, they eat. I'm like, hey, if you want a pay raise, you might ought to change that. You might ought to act like you're interested. And I just want to say to you, young ones in here, okay? Like you that are like 50. Can I tell you? I just want to say to you young ones in here that if honestly anybody that's over 50 is ever speaking, take notes. Because they're offended if what they're saying is not noteworthy. Just as you move forwards in success, why do the best get better? So the N stands for never violate trust. Never violate trust. When you lose moral authority, you lose everything. Important. The other N stands for never manipulate them. People will let you manipulate them once, and then you train them.
Yeah.
And they'll go, hey, I'm not coming back for that. I don't know any person on this planet that loves to be manipulated. We got to be careful. The E in connect stands for encourage often. I want to talk to a leader right now that you think that if you encourage people too much, they won't perform at their highest level. And I just want to say to you, you bought the lie. You cannot encourage enough.
Right.
Notice and encourage. The C stands for continually add value. Continually add value. I don't have this in my notes, but I'm going to give it to you right now. Can I do that? I want to tell you, if you want to add value to people, value people.
Yes.
If you want to add value to people, value what they value. If you want to add value to people, then continually add value to yourself. How is it possible as a husband to add value if you're not adding value to yourself? How is it possible to value somebody if you don't value what they value? If you really want to lead somebody, if you really want loyalty from people, come on, this is big right now. You know what you do? You ask them, how are you doing? How's your mom? How's your daughter? You want to have loyalty? Don't walk in and say, go show me your sales sheet right now. I'm begging all you men to smile and connect and add value to your children. Crawl into their world. I know it's not easy. I know it's not. What they're thinking about, you hadn't thought about in 30 years. What's important to them, you're going, it ain't even that important. I don't even know why you're thinking about it. But it's important. So leaders, write it down, please. Slow down to speed up. Slow down to speed up. The T stands treat with honor and respect. Treat with honor and respect. I don't think there's any more painful on the planet than people that don't treat people with honor and respect. How many of you on the call right now don't feel appreciated? You don't feel like anybody notices. You don't feel like anybody cares. It seems like the harder you work, the more they want you to work. And so I just encourage you to be that person that is doing that. That is encouraging and uplifting. The fourth thing I want to tell you about is I want you to equip people. Equip people. Share with them. Talk with them. Walk with them. Find out how they learn and get information to them. If you want your people to do more, help them be more, because who you are will determine what you do.
Yeah.
If you're appreciated, do you understand? You're going to give a lot more. Hey, there's not a mom on this planet that hasn't cooked a meal when everybody went, oh, this is the greatest thing I've ever had. Is not more excited that they spent all those hours putting the meal together and it took 5 minutes for us to destroy it. Do you know what I'm talking about? Thanksgiving around our house is crazy. My wife goes nuts. She puts out about 16 to 20 dishes, and in about 6 minutes, it's like the ravens came from everywhere and there's nothing there. And I'm looking at her going, ooh, how'd that feel? All those hours of work and planning, going to the store. How many of you know a meal is not just a meal?
Yeah.
It's hours in a store. It's the planning. It's the emotion. It's you laying awake going, how's the pumpkin pie going to turn out? When you equip people, let them know, I know what it is you're doing to get this to us. And I'm grateful for you. Now watch what happens. So, how do I become that leader that everybody craves? How do I help people get better? And how do I become that leader that everybody craves? I came across some interesting research over the last few months. It's by a Bain research company. And they found out that there are 33 traits in a leader that causes them to be great. Now, that's a little overwhelming. If you come back with me next month, which I hope you will, I'm going to go into this a lot greater detail. But here's what we found out, okay? That in this, there was one trait that mattered more than any other trait. And that is when a leader is centered. Now, can I tell you, you've never walked around and went, man, my leader's really off-centered. And you probably never said, hey, my leader's really centered. It's amazing. It's one of those things in your life. It's obvious to your team when you're not one. Yeah. Wow. And it's obvious to you when you are one. Wow. Because it changes everything. So, what makes a centered leader? First of all, they're guided by their values. They're driven by their purpose and obsessed with a mission. Wow. Question. Have you ever worked with somebody where you took what you and you're doing as a team more important than they did? Wow. So, how do I know if I'm off-center? Just in the few minutes I've got here. Let me tell you, number one, you're annoyingly insecure. Do you know who I'm talking about? Where you got to run around and got to put them on a pedestal all the time. Oh, you're so great. You're so great. Isn't that a little bit embarrassing? Matter of fact, I told my team, when I walk off stage, I really appreciate it when you say, great job, that was awesome. Oh, best speech ever. What I really need to hear from you is that was clear. It's more important that I'm clear. Why? Without clarity, you have no idea what I'm saying. Tonight, when you get off this call, I want you to be able to take this for the next 30 days, and I want you to be able to apply it in your life, because when you do, it's going to change everything. So, as an insecure leader, you're very needy. You need the accolades of people. You need constant affirmation. And I will tell you that most insecure leaders, they avoid conflict, and they lack direction. Wow. Sometimes insecurity manifests itself as arrogance. So instead of being passive, they're very, very aggressive. They love to hurt people. They love to make people cry. They love to embarrass people. They love to feel powerful. And they think that makes them a better leader. But nobody is going to follow. When leaders lack confidence, the team lacks commitment. So if you're insecure, don't be upset when your team won't commit to what they need to do. Because honestly, when you're confident, they'll feel your confidence. The other one is you're consistently unpredictable. You've heard me teach for years and years and years. Be predictable, dependable, and defendable. Be predictable, defendable, and dependable. Be predictable. I don't think there's anything more upsetting on this planet than being around somebody you don't know who you're going to be with. Yeah. Are they going to be moody? Are they going to be mad? Are they going to be upset? Where are they going to be? So in life, people do not want us to be unpredictable. Unpredictable leaders produce hesitant followers. Wow. Unpredictable leaders produce hesitant fathers. The third one is that you're distastefully self-absorbed. Self-absorbed leaders produce resentful followers. Let me say that again. Self-absorbed leaders produce resentful followers. Uncentered leaders produce unsettled followers. Just so you know, your life is not to produce followers. Your life is to produce leaders. But most people don't know their leader. No one's ever told them they were a leader. No one's ever said, you can lead. I tell the story in the 4th grade when Mr. Carr, I respected him so much. He was a man's man. Took me out in the hallway and said, I've been watching you, young man. I've got an emergency meeting, a teacher's meeting. I'm going to have you watch the class. No one had ever said to me, you're a leader? No one had ever said to me that. And I remember turning and walking into the room. Mr. Carr left, and I had 2 of the meanest young men in the school. These boys were so mean. They caused trouble everywhere. And I went in, and I looked at Billy and Roger and said, guys, come here. And they come running over. What is it? I said, you're not going to believe what Mr. Carr just asked us to do. One is too small of a number to make a difference. And right now, if you will start looking around and saying, who is in my circle that I don't like, but maybe God's got his hand on them. Maybe there is a warrior leader about to come out of them that's going to change the world. See, I want to tell you something right now. Look me in the eye while I tell you this. You are not a sum total of your yesterday messes.
That's right.
You're not a sum total of your yesterday mistakes. You are a sum total of the destiny that's inside of you.
That's right.
So as a leader, let's get going. So how do I know if I'm centered? Let me give you 3, and then I'll say goodbye to you. By the way, it's so great to see my friend Dave Wagner on here. He's in Alaska. I love you, buddy. It's good to see you, my friend. And it's great to see all these young men with their daddies in Salt Lake coming together tonight. Oh my gosh, Ben, I am so proud of you guys. I love you, I love you, I love you, I love you. Yeah, look at these guys. Look at these young emerging leaders, man. So, let me tell you, I'm going to talk to these young men real quick. Are you ready? Look at them taking notes. Look at them leading already. Leaders set examples, right? Oh my gosh, everybody feels really bad right now. So, what do I do to be a centered leader? What do I do to be a centered leader? My name's PT. I love you. Hey, what do you think of this, huh? That's faith right there. You see that? That's the substance of things hoped for and the evidence of things not seen, right there. How do I know? Number 1, I'm inwardly confident. I'm not cocky. I'm not arrogant. I know in whom I believe. The difference between influence and authority is this. Influence is when you walk in a room and you have an impact on people. Authority is when you walk in the room and you know who you are and you know what you're not and you're okay with it. Now you walk in authority. I want to preach a message on it. But I want to tell you, leaders, you have questions for Jesus, but Jesus has got some questions for you. And one of his questions is whom do you say that I am? If you don't know who you are, there's a really great chance nobody around you is going to know who you are. I'm not talking about walking in arrogance. I'm talking about walking in humility and confidence. It's amazing. So, if you're going to build your confidence, can I tell you? You're probably going to have 3 things you're going to need to develop. And I'm going to talk about that next month. I love it. Number 2, you're strategically consistent. A lot of people are consistent, but they're consistent at all the wrong things.
True.
I've got friends of mine that are consistently negative. They're consistently fault finders.
Wow.
They're consistently great criticizers. They stand on the sidelines and cut down all the people that are taking the hits and the blows and the blood and the guts. By the way, if you won't get in the fight, you will never enjoy the prize.
Wow.
So you'll never celebrate at the level that the rest of us will celebrate.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we're gonna have fun next month. The last one is your mission driven. You're mission driven. What's grabbed your heart? What's got your attention? Are you all in? Are you willing to lay it all on the line? Are you being a part-time greatness? It won't happen. Some of us are trying to negotiate the price. Are you cutting back? Are you giving more than you ever have? I want to tell you, I believe that on this call are the greatest men in all the world, and I know we have some women's sneak on. I have men on this call that are such incredible leaders. I just stand so pale in front of them. They're giants. They have touched more people than you could ever imagine. And I just want to challenge you. I want to challenge you. I want to challenge you to start inviting. I want to challenge you to set a goal to bring 10 men. I'm going to challenge you to get off the bench this month and get in the game. I'm going to encourage you to just go start inviting people to get on this call. We're going to make a difference. We do have a dream to have 1 million men on this call. We're going to get them one at a time. It's like the kid and his dad walking down the beach, and the little boy kept throwing starfish in the ocean, and his daddy said, "Son, you're never going to make them difference." He goes, "Dad, I just did for that one that I threw in." Let's go get them one at a time. I love you. If you got to go take off, I'll hang on and chat with you guys for a little bit. I love to talk trash here for a couple of minutes.